Hey, it's Doug from the Rise Up Gym channel. Are you looking for exercises that help increase your strength and power for hitting sports like softball, baseball, golf, or tennis? Well, you come to the right place. I have exercises for you that you can do in the gym and increase that power. Let's check it out. First things first, obviously technique is number one. So when you're playing your sport, find a technical coach that will help you get the most out of your technical abilities. It'll probably be different for how you're taller, shorter, where you're at in your age. So if you're just starting tennis, your swing's gonna be a lot different than if you're playing for 15 years. So technical ability is number one. The second is strength. So we want to build up that strength. Now, bigger people tend to hit, just naturally with more power and more distance. So if you're a bigger person, yes, you're going to naturally have those abilities, but it shouldn't kind of be used as a crutch for, technique, not learning the technique, and also, not to do these exercises, because down the road, you want to strengthen and be the best that you can, but also kind of prevent injuries as you're doing it. So first things first, we want to mobilize the hips, and then mobilize the thoracic, which is the kind of mid-back area. I'll just show you some quick ones that I like, but just getting those loose, whether before you play or during your workouts or before your workouts, is a great way to help increase the ability to unlock the hitting power and distance. If you're tight, you're not going to move very far, and you're going to compensate in some way, which could lead to injury, but also decrease power and distance. First things first, we're going to mobilize the hips. So I am going to do a rock back. I want to have my chest up, and I'm going to rock back and forward, keeping my foot flat. So the more I can increase my hips and the distance, the greater my lateral drive can be, and also the greater the potential for hitting power and distance. Second one I'll do is I'm going to tuck my tailbone, and I'm going to open up my hips with a little mobility this way. So I'm going to do a circle. When I do a circle, I'm not going to lose my low back. I'm going to keep it tight, rotate around, and I'll go the other direction as well. Really trying to go slow and isolate just that hip socket. Exercise I like for the thoracic, you can be on all fours. Have my hand gently behind the head. Rotate, and then rotate out. What I'm doing is turning, not lifting. Turning mobilizes the thoracic region. Lifting doesn't, it just extends the body. So focus on turning, not lifting. You might not get as far, but that is okay. And then again, both sides should be done, because one side, if my hitting side that I draw back on, will probably have a lot of mobility, and then this direction that I follow through side might not. And if you do that over time, you'll probably get some injuries or some problems down the road. So this way, I want to make sure I can rotate just as much as the other way as well. Lastly, it's putting together. One of my favorite ones to do before a workout. I call it a mountain climber with rotation. So I'm going to step, I'm going to sink. So I'm going to open up my hip, and then I'm going to open up my thoracic area. And then I'll come back down. You don't have to jump to the other one. I'm going to sink and then rotate. Now, if you're pretty good, you can sink, shift your weight, and then open up away from that front knee, getting that thoracic as well. So those are my warm-up mobility exercises to help you hit further and with more power. Next, we'll go to the foundational strength. Strength is obviously very important for hitting a ball further and harder. Foundational strength, most important thing, getting those deadlifts, getting those squats, getting those lunges, push-ups, pull-ups, all those things will help build a strong foundation, so then you can specialize into the exercise I'll kind of show you now. One real simple one is using a mini band. Now, a mini band, you might not think it would help your hitting, but it does help that lateral shifting, that drive component. So what I would do is I'm going to put the band both ankles, and what I'm going to do is take a side step and then control in. The control in is very important. So imagine you're swinging, hitting a tennis ball. You got to control in. So we don't want to come in and just like that. I want to be able to full control, lateral weight shift, and then drive in. So minivan walks or just doing them statically like I did right there is a good way to build up functional strength for increasing your hitting power and distance. Thrusters. Thrusters is a squat to press. So we're going to take two components out of our foundational series and put them together. Now what we're going to do is transfer the energy or the strength from the legs and flow through the body up overhead. So we're doing it in more of a sagittal plane. I'll show you a rotational plane in a second, but it will transfer over to this more horizontal or lateral plane that we need for hitting. The reason is because we're learning to transfer strength from the feet overhead. So I want to be smooth and then build up that capacity to do that. So I'm transferring from the legs and then going through the upper body. Like I just mentioned, you can add a little bit of rotation with it too. So I'm going to do a full squat, and then as I come up, rotate back down. Full squat and rotate. So that gets me the rotational component. Now it's not exactly like a hit for most swings, but I am turning, so when I go here, it's pretty similar. I'm just not raising up my arm. So I'm driving up and then transferring that weight over. And the single side is nice because a lot of times you'll have a racket in one hand or you'll have a little bit more weight on one hand to drive through. That'll help out as well. Lastly, a lateral lunge or a side step lunge is a great way to build up that strength because I want to drive and I want to have the energy to come back. So I'm going to take a step, shift my weight, load up, and then drive. And I'm learning to load up a little bit further distance than I normally would, so that way I build up a lot of strength and come back. And obviously you do both sides there. But yeah, you're loading that leg like a spring and then driving off. It's a little exaggerated compared to a hit, but if you strengthen through that big range of motion, on a shorter range of motion, you'll have that strength as well. Lateral force production is very important for any type of hitting motion. Yes, there is a rotational component, but everything starts from the legs and your body's going to shift laterally and then you're going to follow through with that rotation. So we're going to do this with the medicine ball. Very easy way to do it. I'm going to take a ball. It doesn't need to be super heavy. This is only 10 pounds because we want a little bit of power and velocity. I'm not going to put all my speed and strength into this, but I just want to show you. So I'm going to take a nice concrete wall here and I'm going to rotate and I'm going to bring it to the wall, pick it up, and back. And of course, I would do the other side. Now, you can take the legs out of it, which I like to do sometimes. That way, we're working on core stability and also core movement through the torso. So it's a little bit harder. And what we're looking for is being able to stay up, and when we're throwing, you're not falling down at all. You're building that, and you're able to brace and stop. Lastly, we can make it a little bit more dynamic with a step back and throw. So I'm going to be in this position, I'm going to take one step back, and then I'm going to step forward and launch. So I'm going to go here, and throw. So now I'm working on that lateral drive. And of course you'd want to do both sides. Is a single bar rotational thruster for power. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive from the legs. I'm going to launch up and then rotate and punch. I have to turn my hips as well. So I got to turn my hips and land facing the anchor of the bar. So I'm going to drop down, push my hips back, and then up. Drop down, keep the bar close, and then up. My left side, not as good, but we want to do both sides the best we can, working that power and rotation. So it's probably no secret that I really enjoy kettlebell usage for power production especially. Now, kettlebell swing is a great way to produce power. We're not going to do the basic kettlebell swing. That is a good one to do. We're going to do a lateral kettlebell swing where we're going to rotate with the kettlebell. You want something semi-light. I recommend holding an overhand grip. Instead of here, I'm going to hold on the outside. And then what I'm going to do is shift my weight, and I'm going to bring the kettlebell up. I like to flatten it out at the top. Again, we're working that downswing, shifting the weight, and that transfers over to power production. Now, if you have more means to get other equipment, I really like these Bulgarian bags for that. You can do the same thing with this. So I'm going to shift my weight and then rotate, getting that movement down there. So nice lateral rotation. Now we also want to do a little bit on the single side of things. These clubs come in handy for that. This is about 14 pounds, and again, I'm just going to shift my weight. I like to start a little bit low and then kind of like pendulum, get a little bit higher, so I'll bring it up, and then I want to follow through, so I'm getting a little bit of rotation, trying to time it so I transfer weight and rotate through, back, rotate through, and then of course you want to do the other side, so you balance everything out. One side might be a little less coordinated than the other, which is okay. This one really works for grip as well. Obviously, grip is important for especially baseball and softball. Tennis, your grip is important too to maintain that grip. You don't need a death lock probably in tennis, but hitting like a baseball and softball, you need a good strong grip. So those are the power exercises that I like to do specifically for increasing your hitting power. The final bit is core work. Now, most core exercises are going to be very beneficial to helping you build a strong core, obviously, and then helping you stabilize and also produce a little bit of power through the midsection to help you hit harder and further. Some that I like specifically for this motion are using bands. These are cheap things. I just kind of mount it to the wall here. And one we're going to do is a band core rotation. I'll put one hand on top of the other. I'll kind of get in a pseudo good stance position that I would normally hit in, whether it's tennis or baseball. And then I'm going to have my shoulders down. And what I want to do is initiate from the floor and drive through my legs and then move through the torso. So I'm going to pivot through that torso, and then I don't want to just let it go back. I want to reverse the order or control it back. So I'm pushing through the ground, controlling that. Now, it might not be a pure swing for your sport, the same technical kind of aspect of it, but it will work that rotational movement. And then you're also getting deceleration, like I mentioned, coming back. Now, that's one way to do that motion. You can also change the angle, low to high, for example. So I'm going to be here, coming up, and I'm coming back. And I'm not lifting the band, I'm just rotating and then rotating back. Obviously, you can do it up high if you want to as well. Other ones you can do if you need some stability. So let's say when you're hitting a tennis ball or a baseball and you get a little bit kind of unstable, holds are good. So I call these pal-off holds. It's basically a standing side plank. So I'm going to be here and I'm just going to push out, settle my shoulders, settle my hips, and hold for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And I don't want it to drift towards the anchor. I want to be stable and I want to feel my core engaged. Great way for that to build up the stability in the core. Lastly, what I'm going to do is another type of rotation. We're going to take the legs out of it. That way it's a pure torso and core rotation. So we're going to do a half kneeling rotation basically. So I like to have the outside knee up. You can have the inside knee up as well. It just gives me a little more support out here. If I'm all supported in here, then I'll be a little bit wobbly out there. Again, I don't believe in too much right or wrong. It's just how you want to do it. So I'm going to punch out this arm, punch out this arm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot and then decelerate back. Hold for a half second. I like to own that end position and then control back. And then obviously I would do the other side. So there's the core exercises. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you out and increases your hitting power for tennis or baseball or softball, even golf. If you like the video, please like it down below. Also consider subscribing as I try to put a new video out every week. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.